Death is something people don't like to talk about or read about, and certainly don't like in the title of books.
Yes.
Unless it's fiction.
I would say that 2 or 3 of the editors felt that it was not the kind of a book that I ought to be writing.
Why'd you write it?
But I felt that the Lord wanted me to write it because we face death every day. It's the most democratic thing in the whole world. It brings us all to the same level. Everybody's going to die. And as Bernard Shaw says, it's the greatest statistic in the world. 1 out of every 1 dies. And C.S. Lewis, the British professor, said that war does not increase death. He said death is total in every generation. Everybody that we see walking on the streets, everybody that we see every day, they're all going to be dead.
And we all fear it.
And we all fear it. And we have a right to. It's called the last enemy. It's called the great enemy. It's called the king of terrors.
How does Billy Graham approach it?
Well, since I have received Christ into my heart, the sting of death is gone. Now, for example, last summer, my wife and I were coming back from Europe. We were on a plane, and suddenly there was an explosion. We thought a bomb had gone off, and the dishes went everywhere, and the things came down, the oxygen mask came down, all that sort of thing, and we never learned what happened. We were told later it was a bomb, and it was on an Air France plane, and they were having a lot of difficulty at that time. And I didn't feel nervous at that moment. It was too quick. But a little bit later, I began to feel nervous, and I thought to myself, am I afraid to die? And then I thought, again, that it's instinctive to want to live. I mean, that's something God gave us. And if we don't have that sense of self-preservation, we would all die. We might go out and commit suicide. But I'm not afraid of death. I'm looking forward to death itself. I'm not looking forward to the dying process.
In one of the great speeches ever made the night before he died, a man you knew very well, Dr. Martin Luther King said, if the Lord were to take me now, I have been to the top of the mountain.
That's right.
I've seen the other side. You have as well.
That's right. I have seen the other side, and I've been with Martin Luther King, and we talked about it a number of times. We went to Latin America together and spent a couple of weeks in Brazil together.
What's there? What's on the other side?
On the other side is either heaven or hell.
That's true.
That's what the Bible teaches.
And you believe it?
And I believe it, yes. And I believe that for the believer and for the ones that the Lord is going to take to heaven, it's going to be a gigantic experience.